Hello! Today I will be listing all of Nico D'Angelo's abilities within all the books that he appears in. That includes the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, the Heroes of Olympus series, and the Trials of Apollo series. So there will be some minor spoilers ahead. I will only mention the abilities that he has performed, so things that aren't mentioned within the text of those stories will not be mentioned here. So basically only canon stuff. Well, without further ado, let's get into this. Nico's first ability is his undead summoning power. Many times in all of the series, Nico performs many incredible things that have to do with the undead. He can basically straight up summon a ghost, zombie, or skeleton from the underworld whenever he wants. Zombies and skeletons act as his assistants during battle, but summoning ghosts is different. Ghosts mostly dwell around ancient and haunted places, so he doesn't need to summon them to see them. But if he wants to speak to a specific person who died, then he would need to sacrifice offerings in a dugout pit while chanting an ancient spell. Usually the sacrifices require a lot of McDonald's Happy Meals. After summoning a ghost, he can speak to it for a short time until he's forced to stop because Hades doesn't really like it when people use that specific spell. His second power is similar to his first, and that ability is called Undead Control. He can do the obvious power, which is commanding an army of undead skeletons and zombies to help him during battle, though he can also use them for other tasks, such as when he used undead builders to help construct the Hades cabin at Camp Half-Blood. His undead powers also allow him to put any undead creature he points at to sleep, though this power drains him quite rapidly. The last thing to mention about this ability is that he can touch a living being and decay all of the skin on their body, and turn them into a mindless skeleton that obeys his every command. Yeah, I would not want to be his enemy. Nico has many abilities that have to do with souls, and so his third ability is called Soul Usage. The first thing he can do is trade a soul for a soul. What that means is that if he obtains a soul that has cheated death, he can exchange it for a dead soul to be returned back to life. Though this only works on a cheated death soul, like the inventor Daedalus in the book The Battle of the Labyrinth. Daedalus in the book had cheated death by putting his soul into multiple machines over the centuries. The last thing that he can do with souls is release them into the underworld. If a person wishes to be sent to the underworld, Nico can release their spirit, which allows the soul quick access to the underworld. Though if you really think about it, it's just a very unorthodox way of killing someone. So yay. Keep in mind with the release of a soul ability that I'm not fully sure if he can only use this ability on cheated death souls or any soul in general, because again, he used this ability on Daedalus from the Battle of the Labyrinth. The fourth ability is one of his more practical and more popular abilities within the series. Shadow Travel is a sort of teleport ability. He can enter a shadow through one area and exit a shadow through a completely different place in the world. The darker the shadow, the easier it is for him to use the ability, and the more people or things he needs to transport, the harder it is for him to use the power. Also, if he wants to shadow travel a large group of people, or supplies, or even giant statues across the globe, then they need to have some sort of contact with his body in order to tag along in the travel. Also, with a heavy load, his range of teleportation is shortened. By himself, or with a light load, it seems he can travel just about anywhere in the world, with him traveling from America to China multiple times within the series. Though, if he overuses the power, it could lead to a condition where he becomes a part of the shadows forever. Yeah, so basically death. Many forget about this fifth ability, but Nico has something I want to call ground manipulation. He can basically manipulate the rocks underneath the earth, and he's used this ability before to block doors from enemies. He can also create flaming fissures in the ground that can swallow up living or dead creatures, trapping them in the underworld. The sixth ability on this list is called Death Sense. Nico has the ability to know whether or not someone he has interacted with has died or not. He'll know if a person has died when he hears a buzzing in his ears. Also, you can sense the people he interacted with when they are being judged in the underworld. Some abilities that Nico has are done without his intention to perform them, so I'm going to call these passive abilities. One of those being his ability to leave a foot trail of dead grass whenever he walks. This usually happens when he is in an emotionally unstable mindset. Another passive ability is his power-up while he is in the underworld. We don't really see this within the series, but it's been mentioned. However, I would assume that it works like Percy's power-up ability, with his powers and physical abilities being powered up in water, so I guess it's the same for Nico but in the underworld. His last passive ability are that ghosts are drawn toward him. This basically means ghosts naturally stay around him, because they worship him for being a child of Hades. Nico has a lot of experience hanging out with ghosts in this series, so yeah, this one was kind of a given. So there are two bonus abilities that I want to mention. I found them both very interesting for different reasons, and yeah, you'll see what I mean. The first ability is called Jules Albert. A strange name for an ability, yes I know. Nico has the power to summon a professional racer zombie named Jules Albert, and he received him as a gift from Hades. Hades wanted Nico to have a more normal teenage life, so he got him someone to drive him around. I mean, personally, that wouldn't be my first choice trying to give someone a normal life, but nonetheless, Jules Albert never gets angry in traffic, and he'll take Nico anywhere he wants, so he's quite handy. The second ability is called, well, I'm not really quite sure what to name it. I guess I'll call it, Don't Mess With Me Because I'll Make You Wish You Were Never Born. This ability only happens when Nico is in an extreme emotional crisis, and when he lets all his feelings and anger out. I mean, the guy almost dies using this power. So here's what it does. The air drops to freezing temperatures around him, the ground turns completely black, everyone around him sees the pain and suffering he's gone through, and it makes it so that they experience the worst parts of it. The enemies he's not focusing on will get disintegrated into ashes, while his main target gets a serious headache and a bad nosebleed. He then proceeds to summon a fissure underneath his main target, which sinks them down to their chest, and eventually, that person will turn into a nameless spirit, where he then banishes them to the underworld forever. He literally turns his enemy into a dead ghost. So yeah, nothing terrifying about that at all. So these are all of Nico di Angelo's abilities. If you enjoyed, then please leave a like and subscribe for more of this content. If you want more in-depth character abilities, then please comment down below. I truly appreciate the support these videos have been getting, and I will be sure to make more for you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching.